Wagwan, it's Intra. I want to say I'm back, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. Let's just savor this moment. I'm here, I'm present, right here, right now. That's all there is to it. Let's not overcomplicate things. Today's video is brought to you by Brilliant, and it's a random one. I'm not gonna lie, it's a random one. But what more can you expect from me? Like, so as a kid, I was obsessed with these things, yeah. Prism, spinning, adverts, Trivision, yes, that's the one. I was obsessed with these things, yeah. Wherever I saw one, I went ballistic. I lost it. A minute ago, I made one for Nia, one of her like US tour posters, and I'm gonna show you guys how I made it. It's a random video, yeah. It's either this or nothing. Be content. Sorry, I'm getting a bit agitated. I'm gonna calm down. So without any further, let's jump into Blender. So we're in Blender, we're in Homeland. I'm still using 3.4 because I'm too lazy to upgrade, but you should upgrade. It's not gonna make a difference to this particular tutorial. Anyway, starting off with a cube, we can yak that because we don't need it. Shift A mesh, we're gonna add a cylinder. We're gonna, before you click anywhere over here, we're gonna change this, to 3. So you get a prism. With this prism, we're gonna scale it into like a tube. Scale it down a bit as well. Scale it however your heart's content, bro. Like, the numbers don't matter. Just do what makes you feel happy. Yeah. So we'll scale that up probably a bit more, you know. Looks good to me. Hit 7 to and I need to turn that thing on, innit? Okay, you're happy now. Now we hit 7 on the numpad and we see our triangle. So what we're gonna do, and I'm trying to remember how I did this, so excuse me. So we're gonna add an array over here in the modifiers tab. It's gonna offset it exactly, but we want like a tiny little gap. So let's just put like, let's just make them so there's a tiny gap between them. This number is going to be different depending on your scene. Just do it by eye. This is like cooking. We're not doing exact measurements. Just feel it in your soul. Like, just let the blend speak through you. And so we're going to up the count now. I could just go like that, but I just like this better because I feel like I'm, you know, in control. These ones are pretty rectangular. That could be quite fun, to be fair. Yeah, let's make it super rectangular. Not me getting giddy already. Like, I told you, this was my biggest obsession as a kid. Like, I loved these things. I was just like, how did they do that? And now I guess I know how they do that. Okay, maybe this is a little bit too wide. Cool. Yeah, it looks about right. What did I do next? While I remember what I did, let's hit save. Control S. Tutorial. Sorry, my potatoes have actually finished boiling, so what? Goodish. It's pretty good. Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply the modifier, go into edit mode, hit A to select all, hit P, and then we're gonna select separate by loose parts. This has now created a bajillion cylinders in our outliner. Then I'm pretty sure right click, set origin to geometry. Yo, I'm so sorry, I forgot to say, once you've set all the origins to geometry, you also want to go up here and change whatever pivot point you've currently got to individual origins, and this will mean that they all spin on their own axis. Yay. I'm really hungry, and those mashed potatoes are literally speaking to me through the door, so I'm gonna eat, and then we'll pick up where we left off. Yeah. Steph from the future here. While I'm eating my food, let me tell you about the sponsors of today's video. And I feel like if you watch my videos, you'd probably be interested in what Brilliant have to offer. Brilliant is a website that hosts thousands of interactive lessons and classes in the fields of mathematics, computer science, and data science. Something I find incredibly important as an artist, especially one that sort of works at the intersection of tech and creativity, is keeping my mind sharp, especially with the more traditional aspects of being a computer-based practitioner. At the moment, I'm taking baby steps in learning about quantum computing. This class covers how we can exploit the laws of quantum mechanics for all of our computational needs, and also how quantum computing could be the key to solving very important problems that affect the entire world, and potentially cause them as well. Brilliant update their database on a monthly basis with new classes for all age ranges and different skill levels, from basic to advanced. If you like to access knowledge, then Brilliant are offering free access for 30 days to their platform if you follow the link brilliant.org/intranetgirl, and the first 200 people will also get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Thank you, Brilliant, for sponsoring today's video. I think I might have finished eating now. Yay! You see how they're all spinning on their own axis? That's it, bro. That's literally it. Hit 7 to go into top view, and we're just gonna set our keyframes. So make sure you're on frame 0 and hit I, and we're just going to hit rotation. So now it's inserted rotation keyframes for all of our objects. Now we're going to scroll ahead a little bit and we're going to add another keyframe. Hit I, rotation. So we've put the same keyframe twice because we want this orange area, this duplicate keyframe area, is where the board is going to be still. And then if we scrub along a little bit longer, we can start to spin the boards. So let's go over here with them all selected. So we're going to turn it clockwise, minus 120 degrees, and you can see that up here. Cool. And then we're going to hit I again and add another rotation keyframe. So in that period of time between these two, we have it rotating to the next face. And so we're just going to repeat that. We're going to insert a duplicate keyframe like around here, I, rotation. So this is where the board is still. And then we're going to add another one over here, which will be minus 120. And duplicate that one again by just hitting I, rotation. So now we've got 3, 1, 2, 3. We need it to loop. So I'm going to add another keyframe of the beginning face. Why are you giving me problems? Minus 120. Okay, that should work now. A, B, C, A. Sorted. Okay, now we have them rotating. Very nice, very nice. You'll notice that they're all rotating at the same time. What we need to achieve now is a temporal offset. I've made that term up, but it describes exactly what we're talking about. An offset dependent on time. This is what I was so obsessed with as a child, yeah, just the like moving across. We need to animate that. How are we gonna animate that? Good question, bro. When I was trying to figure out how to do this, I was ready to hand animate everything myself, which would have equaled complete and utter madness. But I found this insane plugin called, it's like called Chaos or something. Animation Offset. Okay, don't know where I got Chaos from. That's a mad thing. I literally, I make things up. Commotion. Yeah, I'm not crazy, bro. So shout out to Mikhail Rachinsky, yeah? Thank you. Brilliant plugin. We're gonna select all of our prisms. Make sure you're on frame 0 or this will not work. And on the animation offset add-on, you're just gonna hit offset animation. And you'll see these horrific keyframes come up, but don't worry about it. You can just ignore that. Like that's got nothing to do with us. If you hit spacebar, however, you'll notice we get some beautiful temporal offsets going on. You'll notice that it will definitely make your scene longer. You're basically pushing that last prism to start almost when the first prism's already finished turning, so you're going to end up getting a lot more keyframes than you started with. If you ever want to make changes, which right now I'm seeing that whilst it's going along, it's already starting a new stream, and I don't really like that. I want them to be separate, discrete revolutions. You go back to frame 0, change the offset to 0, and then hit offset animation, and then you literally just get all your keyframes back, and it's beautiful. It's like nothing ever happened. It's amazing. You need to make the instances of the stillness longer. So if you move one of these, there's going to be keyframes behind it. And I don't really know why that's happened. So I don't know if you're going to have that or not. So I'm just dragging to select all those keyframes and move them all at once. We've just made the periods of stillness longer, so we're going to offset it again. Just okay, keep going. Perfect. Amazing. Now we need to apply materials to all of the different faces. And I think I did it a long way. I don't know. I can't really remember how I did this either. I have a long... So now I'm just going to show you my way. So unfortunately, we're going to hit Control J and join all our objects together and kind of do that step we just did. We're going to have to do it again, but it is what it is. Like, keyframes are still there. The keyframes are still there. Do not fear. Before we do anything though, let's just set our offset back to 0 and select all our cylinders. And we're gonna join them together. Make sure one object is selected as the active object so that you can join them with Control J. Bear with me. Just please comment a better way to do this. I'm not aware of how you can edit multiple objects unless they're in the same object, if that makes sense. Anyway, so we're gonna add a new material. We're gonna make it fully red so we can differentiate. We're gonna do RGB channels, right? So we're gonna add another material. Gonna make this one the green channel, and we're gonna assign it to this front face. Or we can, we're gonna assign it to this front face. So hit tab to go into edit mode, hit face selector up here, select all those front faces, and we're gonna assign those. Cool. Red on one side, we got green. Now we need to get the blue. The way I went about selecting the other sides, was by turning to the side until I could only see those faces. In face select mode, I'm gonna hit C and just go like that. And hypothetically, that's annoying. A couple of them didn't work. I'm just middle mousing to select the ones that didn't come through. And then I'm gonna assign that to another material, and we're gonna call that one blue, or like there we go, and assign that. So now we have our red channel, our blue channel, and our green channel. Then we essentially do the same thing we did before. Why I didn't just do this first is a good question. And that's why you need to learn critical analysis skills when you're cross-referencing information you learn from the internet, because people like me will just be feeding you gibberish. Yeah, I'm just recounting this how I attempted to solve the problem. Edit mode, hit A, hit P, separate by loose parts, and then they all should still have the animation keyframe still down here. So if you just select them all again and go back here and offset that to whatever again, or maybe 2 point offset animation, we should have no problem. It should do its thing as it was before, but now we have, oh bruh, sorry, you need to make sure you set the origins to the geometry. Let's offset that again. Eesh. Okay, cool. So we've got our RGB. Now it's on to how do we project images onto these instead of just colors, which I'm assuming is what you want to do. Let me quickly go and pick 3 images. Okie dokie. So we now need to projection map onto the textures we assigned. Gonna open a little panel here and shader editor, add an image texture, color into base color. Gonna add a gamma 2.2 because it's an RGB image. I don't know, I'm thinking in octane terms, but I've noticed like bringing in images like that is just so much better. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna copy this whole setup and paste it in G and paste it in B. It's chilling, so we're just gonna put that one for that one. I'm gonna put that one for that one. I'm gonna put that one for that one. Now we come across a very obvious issue. We've got repetitive textures. With all of them selected, we're gonna hit tab in edit mode and just select these front faces. Gonna hit U and then project from view. I came up with this all by myself. Then we're gonna change to UV editor up here, and you can just scale that up with all your usual scale commands. Even do a cheeky stretch situation. Cool. And then just hit repeat to the other faces, but the way we do this is we move across the timeline, let it fully change. If you've got a little bit of that going on, it needs to be fully changed. And then again back into tab, select all these faces, you project from view, boom. Oh, you have to change the image over here quickly to the one you're actually on. Then we're gonna scale this up and just do our thing. For those of you wondering, what's Intra software, like what's that about? Tell us more. I will tell you more when the time is right. The time is not yet quite right. So just all I can say, we're all gonna be dripped out. We're all going to be dripped out. Finito, basta. Now we move along the timeline. Change to our final material. You can check everything's working to your taste by letting the fruits of your labor play out. Wonderful. Oh, wow. Just brilliant. Yes. That's essentially it, yeah? That's all I wanted to show you. We made it in the end. I'm gonna add a couple more things. I'm not really gonna go into it too much, but if you're familiar with Blender, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. You can really just do whatever you want with this, yeah? If we go into cycles, let's go into camera, let's set up a quick camera, yeah? A thing I'll say is really important is once you're done with everything, select all your cylinders and then shift select an empty after, and then control P, set parent to object. This will mean that, yeah, all your rotation keyframes are kept intact, but if you do want to move, resize, like do anything to your billboard, it's like non-destructible to that animation that you did prior. That's super important. And another thing I would do if I were you is back in the shader editor, go back to all of these materials, and we're going to add an emission. We're going to connect this gamma into emission and emission into surface. This makes it glow, yeah? You're going to want to do that for all of them. And then you can up that however much you want. Probably going to put like 30 to all of them. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. I don't quite know yet. That's definitely way too bright, but it is what it is. We're going to add volumetric fog, which is going to diffuse our thing really cutely by adding a cube over that encompasses everything in the scene. Over here in visibility, sorry, in viewport display, we're going to change textures to wire so it doesn't get in the way for us. Shader editor, add a new material, and go to principled volume and connect volume into volume, and change the density to like 0.02. and there you go, you got fog. You can go probably a little bit lower, or make it a bit clearer. Yeah, you got a foggy scene, and you got these billboards are way too bright, kind of like my face right now. That's better. 15 is probably a much better place. So yeah, I just thought this would be an interesting thing for you to add in your animations and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed figuring out how to get this stupid little system to work. I think that's where we're gonna leave this one. This just felt like a really little personal thing to me. It's just a little thing I hyper focused on as a child, and getting to bring it into my adult life in some way. It's symbolic to me, if anything. I'm interested to see like how you lot can incorporate this into your world building. Just there's so much you can do with this billboard concept, and I haven't really seen it done anywhere, so you lots are gonna kill it, I guess. And yeah, that's it from me. You might have noticed my background has changed, and it's probably gonna change a little bit more over the next few months because I've moved back to London, back in home country. Yeah. If you're from London, shout me. Yeah, that's all I got to say, honestly. I'll see you all really soon. Thank you to Brilliant for sponsoring the video, and yeah, peace and love.